I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to upset you.
So tell me what's going on.
Okay, just like for a bit of a visual context.
Our guest
well,
today.
so me and my dad are just kind of sat here just really very awkwardly.
While our guest in the studio is just like wetting themselves in laughter. We don't, because the microphone looks funny.
I don't remember this scene of the Joker.
Danielle, what is... Sorry, it looks like I'm what?
Eating it. You look like you're sick.
To what?
You look like you're a Dalek or something.
A what?
A Dalek.
Like the person.
Yannis doesn't know what a Dalek is. Doctor Who, Google it.
Who's the character?
Oh, the Cybermen.
Wait, I think...
No, the one that's got the Dalek at the bottom of it.
Davros.
I'm here to get what I want, yeah. I got no regrets, I'm not done having fun, yeah.
Welcome to the Generation Gap Cast. You're such an idiot. I knew you were going to do that every time. Stop it.
Take two.
Welcome to the Generation Gap Cast, the podcast dedicated to bridging the generational divide.
It's not funny. The generational divide's quite serious.
It is quite serious. Okay. Right. Are you ready now?
Yeah.
Welcome to the Generation Gap Cast, the podcast dedicated to bridging the generational divide.
Or at least yelling it across the microphones.
I'm Rick, 51 years old.
I'm Yoni, 16 years old.
Between us, we have over 60 years of life experience.
And exactly 0 years agreeing on music.
Each week, we tackle culture, trends, and life.
From someone who remembers life before Wi-Fi.
And someone who thinks Wi-Fi is a human right.
Welcome to the Generation Gapcast. I said it at the same time as you there.
Yeah,
New Year's
bobbly
resolution.
bob.
Okay, right. He's ruined his New Year's resolution.
Bobbly
already.
boom. Let's do this as in a big build-up, in a sort of typical our way. That's amazing. Yeah, okay. We talk a lot and have talked a lot about social media. Right?
Wait! Sorry, I did a drum roll and I had to end it.
Okay, social media and how pervasive it is. So we thought, why not get an expert to talk about the potential good and bad stuff to do with social media in the what's the word?
So here is Mark Zuckerberg.
No, he's busy demoing some new glasses. We have in the studio Danielle, who is... look, Danielle, welcome to the podcast. Would you like to introduce yourself and tell us your actual job title? Because I'm an idiot and I can't get it right.
True.
Hi, I'm Danielle and I'm a clinical psychologist.
There you go. I couldn't remember 2 words.
Well, to be fair, you remembered one of them.
Clinical.
Yeah. I'm really
Psychologist.
proud.
I was waiting to hear what you were going to come up with afterwards.
Danielle, welcome to our little studio.
Thank you.
And thank you for taking the time out of your extremely
Our
busy
studio is
schedule.
actually average sized. Don't we treat our
I'm
guests so
very
well?
excited by my microphone and headphones.
Yeah.
And everything else as well.
Can't
See?
forget the everything else.
Everything else. We were talking before we started recording and we were going through a whole list of stuff. What are the main things that you've noticed as a psychologist then over the past few years that might have become, that might be because, like, I don't know, are there trends or traits you noticed in kids?
So I think more so it's from parents. So we quite often will have parents say to us, what do we do about screen time? I'm worried my child's spending too much time on their phone. I don't know what to do about it. I don't know how to set boundaries about it. Is it harmful for them? So it's the parents asking the questions rather than us necessarily seeing things with the children themselves.
Yanni, let's kick off asking you a question. Do you think, or do you feel influenced by stuff that you see fly past on your phone, whether it be on Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, whatever? Do you feel you get influenced by it?
Nah.
And how do you know this?
How do I know I don't get influenced?
Correct.
If I see a man skydiving, I will not book myself a skydiving.
Okay, no, but if you
Thing.
see something like reply to this chain or repost this picture or...
Oh no, I
some-
don't do any of that because I don't have enough free time to get to
What, so
respond
no,
to
but it's
that.
easy just to click retweet or whatever it is, isn't it? Repost or
Yeah, but
remix or whatever it's called.
But why don't you do that?
because I don't see the point, and I also understand that if a post says I'll get bad luck for the next 15 years if I don't retweet it and put my name at the bottom and a special emoji,
Right.
and then everyone can copy the last 3 emojis or whatever, I recognise that I will not get bad luck for that 15 years. However, some of my friends send this stuff to me. For example, there was one the other day. It was Snapchat is closing down on the 1st of January. It's resetting its books. and they want to get rid of any. No, they're closing down. They're not closing down. They're resetting. They want to get rid of any of the unused accounts or the accounts that have gone down. So you have to send that tweet, that Snapchat texting to like 15 other people to make sure that your
to prove
account
that your
stays
account's
active.
active. Right. That's been going for years, those kind of things.
And I got that
How many times did you get it?
twice, which is actually quite low for that kind of thing. Usually it's more the let's make this the longest text chain in the world. This started in and write the location you're in.
Right, so
and
you
then can
didn't
see how far in the world it's gone.
do that.
No,
But who did?
I'm not going to name them. are
No,
they?
but I mean, quite a handful, like more than a few.
Like I know for a fact, I spoke to a few of my friends about it, and they also got it from different people. So I know that it wasn't just the two people who sent me it; it was also
Right.
other people who sent.
And did they
them
do it though? Is the question.
No, but not the ones I spoke to. But I know people did. But it kind of reminds me. I don't know if we can talk about this because it's quite dark. But do you remember Momo?
Yes, that Japanese face thing.
Yeah,
Yes.
that was not similar, but in a way, it was do the challenge or this.
It
bad
was
thing will
serious
happen.
enough that the school were putting out warnings about it. I think.
Yeah.
Where were you at primary school still?
Yeah.
That we had warnings about it and had to explain that it was a one-way thing and that people can't be seen through a computer screen.
Mm-hmm. But then people
Do you
just didn't
remember
want to
this,
take that
Danielle?
risk.
And was that a big thing at the time?
So I can remember there was lots around some of the schools about it, and there were lots of messages getting sent out, more sort of from senior leaderships about how can we protect children from thinking about these things, and also how can parents make sure that their children who probably shouldn't be on social media at that age not see some of that content.
And so is this one of the key things then? Is sheltering a certain age group the key, in your opinion? And is there research that shows where do you go with that as a parent then?
So it's not about sheltering a certain age group, but it's about parents having some kind of control over what children are accessing. And so for parents to know what their children are watching, how long their children are on screens for them to be able to really consider whether or not what they're seeing is safe for them. And also being mindful of their children's own personalities as well. That's really important because some children will have more of an addictive personality. So rather than sitting on a screen for maybe 2 minutes and then getting off to go and do something else because they're bored, some children will just sit on their phone and just scroll. And if their parents are just letting them get on with it, you don't know what they're watching, what they're seeing.
Can I just say, there have been times where I've been sent stuff like that, Snapchat, like sending this to 15 people, and I say to the people, you know it's fake. And they go, yeah, but I just wanted to do it anyway.
So it's that peer
Yeah.
pressure, isn't it?
Yeah, they just wanted to join in what everyone else is doing.
You would expect a parent to have a very basic understanding of their child's personality, at least.
They probably don't think about it though quite often.
No.
Yeah, but like, you know that I'm a really cool, awesome,
I know
sociable,
I know
very,
you're an idiot.
Uh,
We were saying this before. When Yoni was a lot smaller and younger, he's grown up as an only child.
No, I haven't.
No, he hasn't. But he's grown up as an only child in an environment that we know. We've always sort of encouraged him to have an online social media awareness. You see, when you were smaller and you had the Xbox on, whereas a lot of your friends were with headphones and a microphone, we left it open, and so we could hear who you were talking to, and we could hear that chat. And you would come and say to us, "Mum, Dad, this person has said, asked me where I live. Can I say that I live in London?" But you would question that. But then there are kids who won't question that, and there are parents that will go, put the TV, Xbox in the games room, and just like, well, as long as I've got peace and quiet, right? But that's always happened. Stick a TV in the bedroom, keep the kid quiet. But is it worse now?
that's what I do with you. I stick a TV in your bedroom and just keep you quiet.
Yeah, well,
It's more difficult now rather than being a TV because of the interaction that people can then have. And so because you don't always know who you're interacting with, that's when the difficulties come in, which are different to before when it was just a TV screen.
if you stop a kid looking at something online, they're going to do it as soon as they leave the house, and they're going to go to their friend's house, and they're going to go onto their computer or their phone and go and type in whatever, and they can't type in at home 100%, because I know it, because that's what I would have done. How do you deal with situations where the parent's aware that their child is spending too much time online.
The important thing is, which relates to most things in terms of parenting, it's about the relationship that the parent has with the child. So if the parent's talking to the child, if they're interacting with them in a way where they're doing things together, they're looking on maybe the phone together, they're looking at social media videos together, then they're going to have much more of an idea of what the child is doing. So it's not just about the parent setting boundaries, it's about having that conversation. And that's the most important thing that a parent can do. It's talking to their child so that the child knows that they can come to the parent and talk to them. Just like Yoni came to you and said, is it okay to say I'm in London?
Yeah.
Because you open the conversation for him to be able to have that conversation. So the most important thing the parents can do is actually start a conversation so that the child feels able to continue that conversation.
But it's just not, it can't be isolated though. Because
No, it's an ongoing conversation.
I mean, it can't be because, you suddenly you have, you might have not a close relationship with your child for whatever reason. And then you suddenly can't, as a parent, then suddenly become very interested in their social media use, for example.
No, it's going to be much harder to do that. And that's why from a very early age, you need to be having conversations generally with your children to be able to have a dialogue so that they feel able to come and talk to you about whatever may be bothering them, whether it's a fallout with someone at school, whether it's because they're scared to ask their teacher something, whether it's because they don't want to do something the parents ask them to do. It's about that whole conversation from the start and that relationship building from the start. If a parent does have a difficult relationship with their child, it's about building that up so that then when they are talking about the difficult stuff, like I want to put boundaries in for social media, they've already got a basis to be able to start that conversation.
It's easier when they're younger because they probably don't see you in, a different way. But as they're young adults, how do you, what would you advise, I'm guessing if you were talking to them in a session, how would you deal with the age issue? Because I'm guessing it's more difficult the older they are.
So it will be more difficult because that child will have had much longer of parenting where the parent maybe hasn't had that interest in them. But it's about starting that with actually that acknowledgement that they haven't done it until now and that they've realised actually as a parent, maybe they haven't been as interested as they should. So it's having that humility to be able to say, I've made a mistake but I am interested and I want to, probably the best thing to do is actually find something that they're interested in to do something jointly together. So rather than focusing on social media, it's about let's find something that, even if it's, say, a video game. So if we're thinking about social media, if the child is interested in video games, I've realised I'm rubbish at video games. Someone was talking about them at work the other day and I have no idea about them. Can you show me? And so you're building up your relationship with your child based on something that they are interested in and you're getting them to tell you about it. So you're being interested in them, which shows your child that you are interested in them, so they then want to spend more time with you doing something around that, and then you build it onto other things.
Watching news and whatever we read on the internet, it would always lead back to, usually, that social media, when I talk about it, I'm kind of, in my head, thinking Snapchat, TikTok, Instagram, and not really Facebook anymore, because that's for old people, isn't it, Yoni?
Twittergram,
whatever. But it's Snapchat, TikTok, Instagram, I guess, are the three biggies, right?
Discord's quite big as well.
That's the gaming. That's more for gamers, though, isn't it?
do not use Discord. I know people do.
We're told quite a lot that social media, it's a massive term, but social media is bad for you, bad for everyone. But is it really actually bad for everyone?
I quite enjoy my recipes that I get from Instagram.
Okay. Do you follow like an egg and you just like make your own chicken nuggets and there's like
Do you follow an egg?
No, it's like
Is that an account?
egg in a thing and then flour.
No, but they go really fast and then you have to slow them down. So I
Right.
actually have to screen record them so that I can do them really slowly.
Right, so
That's what I do with my guitar tutorials.
Is it?
Yeah,
screen record them.
yeah.
But that's the thing. So that idea that there are some useful things on social media, the idea of being able to learn different skills, different ways to cook, different recipes. What else do you learn on social media?
You learn how to swear.
Makeup. So makeup's a really big
It's a
thing.
massive
Yeah,
thing for Yoni.
I learn.
You
all my
see how he
makeup
does his
skills.
eyeliner.
You should see my foundation ability.
Some of those things then do complicate the use of social media, because maybe learning about makeup then leads to the adverts for makeup. And then young people then think, oh, I want that. And so then start purchasing things that maybe they wouldn't have purchased before.
By watching it's building up its knowledge of what you're watching, so that it will serve you all the, algorithm's going to start serving you makeup adverts, right? But
that's quite harmless compared to some of the content that some young people are watching.
Danielle, how much of an impact does social media have on people/children's mental health? Because obviously mental health is pretty much like the buzzword, right? Everyone's very aware of it nowadays. People are more open to talk about it than they were when I was Yoni's age. There's less of a stigma probably about it, but clearly there's an effect.
Yeah, and the headlines will say that social media is really bad for you. The difficulty is for those people that are prone to mental health difficulties, those people where there is anxiety within the family, there's depression within the family, they are more vulnerable. So like any situation that could make them more at risk, social media then contributes to that.
When you refer to social media, what is there a sort of overall...
Las redes sociales is social media in Spanish.
Right, that's really helpful. But
You're
is there an overall sort of, like when you refer to it professionally, what does it cover? What is there a sort of catch-all for it?
So we are thinking about things like Snapchat, WhatsApp, YouTube, Facebook, Discord, so Instagram. So those sort of platforms where people can communicate with their friends, with people maybe they don't know, but also where you then have the scrolling that goes through multiple different For You pages based on the algorithms. And it's those things that do impact people's mental health if they are prone to difficulties. Most people like to compare themselves to their friends, although lots of people would say they don't. And that comparison can be really harmful for someone who's got low self-esteem. So quite often people will say, no, it doesn't affect me. Yoni, you said you see things, it doesn't affect you because you're not influenced by what you see, because you feel good about yourself and you know that you're able to rationalize what's normal, where filters are used, where someone has edited something to make it look as though it's better than it is. Whereas for lots of people, they're not able to do that. And so they see someone's post and think, I want to be doing that. I want to look like that. And then their For You page shows more of that. And so they then think, I want more of that. I'm then not as good as that person. My life's not as good as that person. They're so lucky they've got all these things that they keep showing on their hauls of all their shopping. And they then get jealous and then feel rubbish about themselves. So in that sense, it can have an impact. But when you look at the research, actually the research doesn't show that there's as significant an impact as when you dilute it in terms of thinking about an individual person.
Back in the day when I was Yoni's age and growing up, the big thing was you mustn't let your kids play shooting games, like even very basic ones, like not Space Invaders, but not much better than that, right? Stuff that you don't know, like what you would call uber retro now.
Was it like, could you not let kids play Pac-Man in case it went cannibalistic?
Well, no, but people were very worried about the effect of video games on kids, whether they were spending too long playing them, because people would play Pac-Man or whatever it would be on their computers or whatever, and their Ataris for hours and hours and hours. And we used to, for hours and hours. And the thing was always, you can't let your kids play this because they're going to grow up and start shooting people. They're going to turn violent. So is this just a modern day version of that?
In some ways it is, but because it's so instant, because people have access to it all the time, that's where the impact comes in. Because if, for example, someone's being bullied at school and they don't have social media, they can go home and they're not subject to that bullying. Whereas if they've got social media, that bullying can continue when they are in their home, which should be a safe place. Although it's quite similar, because it's more instant And because it can have more of a ongoing effect, because there's that constant comparison, it can impact someone more so.
I guess that what you're saying is it was different because essentially you could switch it off.
Yes.
And you didn't take it home with you as such, or you didn't, well, you could take, obviously it was your computer, but it was a one-way almost a one-way interaction.
Whether we're talking 20 years ago or we're talking now, yes, we'd be looking at the current research to think about the impact, but we might actually be saying to the parents that they don't need to worry as much as they might be thinking they're worrying. In some cases, we might be giving really specific advice to parents, but quite often it's in collaboration with their child. So it's about thinking with their child around the safety of what they're doing and thinking with them about how they can make improvements in every area of their life so that maybe social media is reduced. So, for example, if someone is playing football or going to gymnastics, we might encourage them to do more of that so that the amount of time they're spending on social media gets reduced down and they're happier doing other things. So the parenting becomes around the routines that parents set, the boundaries that parents set, and that doesn't really change.
If you're on holiday and you're having a really nice time, but you know some of your friends aren't on holiday, do you think it's good? Like, do you think it's okay morally for you to upload your photos of your nice holiday while you know you've got friends at home who aren't?
People upload photos for lots of reasons. So for you, uploading a photo of your holiday may be as a way of being able to remember that holiday. It's your little photo album to be able to say, this is what I've done. But typically when people are uploading photos, it's because they want to show other people what they're up to. And people have different reasons why they do this. Quite often when people are uploading photos, they are showing one particular part of their life, or they're trying to demonstrate something particularly positive, or they're taking the best photo. So they will do lots and lots of edits before they get to that best photo. So their photos of their holiday won't be of the time that they were arguing with their parents because they wanted to go out to the clubs and their parents were saying no. The photo would be of them sitting by the beach, or maybe taking a photo of their toes or taking a photo of them holding a glass. And so the photos are edited, but quite often when people look at those photos, they will just see, oh, they're having a really nice time. I wish I was there. Or what photos could I be doing to up this? And so because there is that constant comparison, that can have a negative impact on someone. But hopefully people remember that those photos are all edits and they are just a small, small part of someone's overall life. They don't know what's happening on the rest of that holiday. They don't know what's happening when that person's back at home. And so people tend to show the good things because quite often they want to remember the good things, but also they want other people to know that they're having a good time and everything's really positive. But others need to remember that that is a really small part of someone's life. So you don't need to always compare yourself to everyone else.
And AI is going to completely skew that.
Yeah, because you can't tell whether or not something is AI or whether, well, lots of people can tell, but it's really tricky to be able to identify whether or not that was someone's real experience or an AI video.
Before you go, Danielle, is there anything like a sort of very quick bit of advice you can give to young teenagers / parents? Like, is there a sort of something they can take away from this, or is it just that is it just be more aware?
I think it's about being aware for parents, being aware for teenagers as well, that when they are seeing all these things on social media, that it is just such a tiny snippet of someone's life, or that one moment where they smiled, or the 15th edit of that photo. And although comparisons can spur people to improve things in their life, it's about thinking, why are they trying to compare, and trying to focus on what they enjoy about their life. But also It's about having a balance. That's the most important thing. So using social media is fine if you've got lots of other things going on in your life. If you're going to school, if you're studying, if you're going out with friends, if you're doing extracurricular activities, that's going to be where the balance is. So it's really important to have that balance, and that social media is just a small part of your everyday life rather than taking over and something that you're completely addicted to.
I guess that's similar for most things, though, isn't it? Make just having not just one single focus, because it ends up sending you into a spiral, I guess. Which is lucky, Yanni, because that's why you got so many interests, you know. Like football.
Do you want me to list them?
No.
There's 4.
4. Go
There's,
on then.
Football.
Yeah.
Oasis.
Oasis.
There's actually 3, sorry.
Right.
And acting.
So 3 things in life.
And family, yeah, 4.
4. Are you
What about
sure?
your guitar?
That's a new one. That's pending.
New guitar spending, but how do you fit? Because I've noticed that
That's like 4.5 because I
So the
haven't had
guitar-
it for long enough to be on that top of the
no,
interest.
but you take a break.
Sounds like I'm really spoiled. No, I love the guitar.
You take a break, and then you go off and lock yourself in your room for a bit, and then you learn, let's say, a bit of a new song or some new chords. But that's okay because you're taking yourself. And actually, you've done that quite a lot in the last few. I know it's a novelty because the guitar's still quite new. Do you find it like cathartic when you stop? Like, do you find that better than going on the Xbox?
Yes.
Okay, why?
Well, mostly just because I don't need to put all the effort in just to turn the Xbox on. Also, though, then we like turn the Xbox on and then go into a game. And if I go into a game, I have to spend that 12
But do you
minutes in the
find
game.
how do
or
you
however
feel
long
after
the
you've
game is.
played like the guitar for 10 minutes? How do you feel in your head about, let's say,
In your head.
right? How do you you can't get
That
a
was
copyright
Oasis.
strike?
Oh, cranberries, yeah. I mean, not the cranberries. That was the
the
pomegranate
cranberries.
juice.
What?
Don't get copyright.
Yeah. But do you feel like it's a better switch off than it is to do, like, you know, I don't know.
Yeah, but that's
doom
mostly
scroll?
just because if I go on the guitar, I can stop after 2.5 minutes or 3.5 minutes. Whereas if I go on the Xbox and go into a match of FIFA, I have to finish
you
that
go
match
on,
of FIFA.
normally on Snapchat, check that. Go on Instagram, check that. Blah blah blah.
Yeah, but also if I go on Xbox and I see my friends online, I might be more
So
inclined.
what I'm trying
speak
to
to
say is that what if you put what Danielle's just said into practice is that you're not just having the one focus. You know, you're not just kind of coming home from school and doom scrolling all night and doing a bit of work.
No,
you're doing
why would
other
I ever
things.
do that?
Well, that's the point, and that's
No,
why
I'm
it's
joking.
good,
I
which is
mean-
why we're encouraging it as parents.
Yeah, I definitely don't do that. Why would I do that?
Although
No.
Danielle's not your parent, you know what I mean.
Thank you, Danielle, for a very, very, very insightful insight into
An insightful insight.
no, yeah,
I more like.
And-
did you actually find any of that interesting?
very,
Yanni?
yeah.
And how do you feel? How do you feel about it now? Like, do you feel are you comfortable? I feel you're comfortable with social media being and how to handle it. I feel you are.
I feel like I'm fine, but it kind of gave me not a look into, but
it made you realize
it gave me an
how
insight
damn good
into,
your parents are, doesn't it? That's what you've
No.
realised, yeah?
No.
Okay, fine.
I'm going to use a word again. It gave me an insight into how my friends might see things and the reasoning behind why my friends may do things, even if they don't know they're doing it because of that. It kind of gives me an idea as to why they may subconsciously do certain things.
And the fact you can't really do much about it because it's all down to the parents' fault.
Yeah.
That is not what I'm saying.
Did I just twist the entire thing completely wrong?
Completely and utterly.
Yeah, don't listen to us, listen to Danielle.
Yeah, Danielle's more clever with this.
Is that spelt with 2 W's? Clever.
Lots of R's.
Oh.
Thank you, Danielle. Thanks for coming to our little studio.
Thank you for having me in your
Thanks.
lovely little studio.
Thank you.
It's
for being
average size.
Here. Okay.
Sorry, your lovely average size studio.
There you go. Get it right. All right. Well, that's it. Thank you very much, everybody. You know the usual rules. You want to email us?
You have to listen to it, all the podcasts all at once. You have to binge
obviously.
listen.
Binge listen. We've got quite a few to binge listen to now, so it could take you a while. But we email us, studio@generationgapcast.com.
.com. Why do you leave the rubbish .com at the end? You usually go studio@generation.com.
All right, okay, fine. You can email us.
No, you've ruined it now.
Right, okay, forget it then. You can email us anyway. You know the address. We do it every week. Thank you for listening. You've been listening to the Generation Gapcast,
Ooh.
the podcast where 2 generations come together for meaningful conversation.
Wow. That was very LinkedIn of you.
I bring life experience.
I bring Google.